What did you get, Peter?
Sandra, we got a first-of-its-kind reaction to that testimony. Nobody has asked President Biden yet about these allegations from a former Hunter Biden business associate that Hunter would call his dad, then the vice president, and put him on speakerphone to chat with his business associates. So at the conclusion of this event, I had a chance, at the president's invitation, he waved his son over to ask him. There's this testimony now where one of your son's former business associates is claiming that you were on speakerphone a lot with them, talking business. Is that what?
I never talk business with anybody. And I knew you'd have a lousy question.
Well, why is that a lousy question?
Because it's not true.
Thank you, Mr. President. And so he wanted to talk about the transition to a green economy. He did not want to talk about that, but it does now conflict with the sworn testimony of Devon Archer. Devon Archer went under oath to talk about these speakerphone calls. Some of the Democrats that came out of that room where they were listening in private said that the president was just talking about the weather, but he's saying that they didn't talk at all. Back to you.
Very interesting stuff. Great job, Peter Doocy, as always.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
And so how do you know?
Here's what I know. I know Trump deserves to be investigated. He is violating every basic norm of a president. You should be asking him the question, why is he on the phone with a foreign leader, trying to intimidate a foreign leader, if that's what happened? That appears what happened. You should be looking at Trump. Trump's doing this because he knows I'll beat him like a drum. And he's using the abuse of power and every element of the presidency to try to do something to smear me. Everybody looked at this, and everybody's looked at it and said there's nothing there. Ask the right question.
Mr. Biden, okay, but if you've never spoken to your son,
Can you be impeached for this?
Depending on what the House finds, he could be impeached. But I'm not making that judgment now. The House should investigate it. The House should investigate.
how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Did Hunter Biden commit a crime? Have you spoken to your son, Mr. President-elect?
Proud of my son.
Are you confident your son Hunter did nothing wrong?
I'm confident.
You still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation and a smear campaign, like you said?
Yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony.
Hi, Peter.
And Dana, there's something else. A report of a dinner between President Biden and some of these overseas business partners of Hunter Biden. Here's a big question, though. If President Biden, then Vice President Biden, had dinner with a Burisma executive while he was VP, then why was he trying to make it sound like he didn't know about Burisma until after he left?
Nothing was unethical. Here's what the deal. With regard to Ukraine, we had this whole question about whether or not, because he was on the board, I later learned of a Burisma.
He has not explained that, and he has not deconflicted the sworn testimony of a Hunter associate, Devon Archer, who claims it is categorically false that Biden never spoke to his son about overseas business, with past Biden claims that he had no awareness at all of his son's overseas business. While he's been on vacation in Delaware, this is all we've got.
Will you talk to us on your way back, Mr. President?
Probably not.
The Oversight Committee chair is saying Joe Biden lied to the American people when he said he had no knowledge about his son's business dealings and was not involved. His son's business dealings actually may turn out now to be too much for at least one House Democrat.
If Hunter Biden committed crimes, Hunter Biden should face justice and accountability for those crimes, which, by the way, is a sentence that I have heard very few Republicans say about Donald Trump for much more massive crimes.
White House aides have scheduled a presidential visit with the Houston Astros today, and then some time out west for basically the rest of the week. So we have no idea when President Biden plans to address some of these inconsistencies. Dana?